I've just finished a crop of heart pendants. And these are one of the few things that I make out of polymer clay that I actually put a glaze on. I kind of like how they look shiny, well, at least satiny shiny. And it's also really good to protect all the powders, because I use a lot of powders on here and they're going to be worn. So, you know, you kind of want to protect that from wear and tear. It's not that it needs it. Polymer clay does not need a glaze. It's fine. It's a plastic. It's durable. But the powders and any surface treatments like that can use some protection. So I just thought I'd show you what I do to coat something like this. Not that it's, you know, rocket surgery or anything, but sometimes it's nice to see. There are a couple different glazes out there. I use I'm using Sculpey product, Primo clay, which is my favorite. All the polymer clays are fabulous, but I love Primo. And then they make a satin glaze, which I really like. Make sure you use a glaze that is compatible with polymer. Not everything is. So I've got these little condiment things, and I squirt in some glaze, and then I add a drop or two of water to make it a little bit more thin. If it's too thin, it's going to bead up on the surface of the polymer, which you don't really want. You want to make sure that it is going to go on the surface and stay on the surface. But a little bit of water will do a couple of things. It'll help it flow and not get gunky, and it will make the shine not be overly shiny. Now, I personally like the satin. That's my style. I prefer like a medium gloss to a high gloss. That's just me personally. You can use either. There's a higher glaze if that's the look you're going for. I feel like a lot of my stuff is a bit more earthy and has kind of that natural feel to it. So overly shiny is not really very compatible with what I'm doing. But you notice that I'm just using a sort of a flat brush here, a nice soft watercolor type brush, and I am coating the surface thin. You don't want it to be too thick. If it's puddling, then that's going to leave a kind of a milky residue even once it dries. So I've got a nice thin coat. I got a piece of plastic down. I'm going to let it just sit on that plastic for a few minutes, probably about 5 minutes or so. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the back side. And that's all there is to it. Some people then pop that back into the oven to give it a little bit more of a grab. I have done that in the past. I haven't done it, you know, recently in the last few years. Just it doesn't seem like it needs it, but that is all there is to it. And then I put my lid back on and wash my brush so that I can use more for the next batch. Anyway, I'm going to get myself busy and finish coating the rest of these.